Majesty, can we just go back a bit, right?
Right.
Because I'll tell you why. Because we're jumping a little bit.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Right.
So your relationship
Mm.
with your wife
Right.
was over a span. It sounds like from being married to her about 3 or 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
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 So you're married to her with the 3 to 4 years. In that time, you experienced domestic abuse.
Right.
You said, yeah.
Right.
And then you're saying that you also reacted to that as well.
Oh yeah.
But you've not been clear about how you reacted to that situation. So are you saying that you also was a perpetrator of domestic abuse towards her? Like, so was you reacting? Was she being physical? Was she being emotional? Was it financial? Because domestic abuse
Right.
is a range of things. And what we'll have is a lot of people asking these questions. And I
Yeah.
have to ask the questions of what the viewers want to know.
Right.
So when we're talking about domestic abuse, do you mind if you're a bit more specific with that part?
Okay.
And then also, when you do answer that,
Mm-hmm.
take us back in regards to this open marriage,
I'm
because
sorry.
that's what you're sounding like you had. And it's not very clear because it's just make it a bit more, give us a bit more clarity. So,
Okay.
first of all, answer that question about the domestic abuse. What was that?
Okay.
And how did that end? Because you're talking about the mother being involved,
Mm-hmm.
and how I'm reading it is potentially she's telling her mum things about you, and then of course her mum's going to feel away because that's her child.
Mm.
Is that what it is? Because we're alluding to stuff, but we're not saying a lot of stuff. So I just want to get a bit of clarity on
So
that.
before even a relationship even started, the mum didn't even like me. Now, how did domestic violence end up happening? Well, it was like this. It was a physical thing, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So I'll give you an example of what actually happened. There was a time when my daughter was born. She was only a week old or 2 weeks, shall I say? And I was at the maternal grandmother's house, and I was just telling the children's mum at the time when I was just looking out the window and I could see my stepdaughter playing with certain children, and I was like, I don't think she should play with them because they look like bad influences and whatnot. Out of nowhere, I'm getting strangled from behind, you know, and obviously that made me fall away at that moment. I lost consciousness and whatnot, boom, boom. As soon as I regained consciousness, I was like, well, how do you like it? You know what I mean? That's how I was, at that time. So, yes, mistakes do happen and whatnot. And when I reflect back, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have reacted and whatnot. But at that time, I would honestly say I did not know that all of this was part of her plan for certain things, which I'm not going to say, but for certain situations, because obviously I still got a case going on. It's not my case, it's her case, but I still have to be there to listen to what's going on and whatnot. But yeah, it happens. And to be honest, in relationship, not every relationship, there's gonna be domestic violence somehow, some way,
Do you
And
really
there's
believe that in all
not all
relationships?
relationship, but some relationship there's gonna be domestic violence. And why? Because I don't know the intentions of each person, but you know what I mean? It happens. I didn't have an intention to go, oh yeah, I'm gonna smack her up, or that was never my intentions. It happened just naturally in
That's a
terms of the fact.
choice.
Hmm?
That's a choice.
You can say it's a choice, but to be honest, if I strangle you right now, are you not gonna react?
That's a choice, though. You made that choice to do that.
What do you mean?
If you choose to strangle me or strangle your partner, that's a choice you made. The way you described it as if it was off of it was natural. No, that was a choice that you made. You made a choice, mind you. You were unconscious. You regained consciousness. So within that moment, you were out. Yeah, from your recollection. Then you woke up, and
Mm,
then you decided after you woke up, I'm now gonna do to you what you just done to me.
mm.
So you made a conscious choice because you were in your right frame of mind to carry out an act on someone. That was a choice that you made.
It's easy to say that. However, I don't think it's just that easy because end of the day, whether it's a choice or not, I reacted. Simple as, you know what I mean? Like what? Magnesium and copper sulfate, don't that react?
So
Mm-hmm.
your reaction is a choice.
I mean, you could say if it's a choice. I don't see it that way at that very time when it
When you're in
happened.
that moment, you
Yeah,
didn't feel
because I
like
was
you had a
in that
choice.
moment and whatnot. But I know that there was other times where, yeah, I walked away, went to go get some fresh air, stuff like that, But to be honest, it's like this. some things seemed very repetitive. And because it became repetitive, you know, obviously I gained the wisdom of just walking away anyway. So that's what really happened.
I was gonna ask Majesty, at what point did you differentiate, like, this is a woman
Mhm.
and I'm a male?
Mhm.
Like, because I feel like at some point it gets to your
Right.
biological, like, this is our biological makeup.
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking about women that we've sat with, we've had on this podcast, and
Mhm.
women that whatever, they always kind of boil it down to,
Right.
actually, he's a man, I'm a
Right.
woman.
So he
Like, I
should.
feel inferior, he should back up.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever feel like you should maybe back up? I know you've just mentioned walking away.
You're right.
Did that ever cross your mind? Or did you feel like, actually,
Mhm.
I've got something to say in this too. Like, I need to shed my point. I need to get myself across. I need to feel how I'm feeling. I need to express myself too. And I should be allowed to do so. Like, what was your thoughts and your feelings and emotions during those moments?
Are we talking about the domestic abuse?
Yeah, I
Well,
am.
it's hard because you don't understand. More times, whether she wanted to create that scenario just to see my reaction or whatnot, more times I did walk away and had my fresh share. But there was just certain things that it's like, you know what, this is too much now. You know what I mean? Like, this is really gonna make me blow up, because it's one of those ones where I can have a conversation with someone and say, I don't like this, I don't like that. That's what I was doing anyway. You know, like, for example, if the children was naughty and whatnot, and daddy gave them a slap on the wrist or something like that, you know, I'll go put them in a naughty corner or whatnot, and then I'll come back to the room maybe 5 minutes afterwards and say, okay, I want to talk about your behavior and why daddy did this and blah blah blah. That's what I would do anyway, you know. But with her, it was like, it was hard because we're two adults, and it's like this. It's like, why am I having to explain myself so much? But it's just going over her head. That's how it felt like to me. And not only that, I realized obviously later on that all of that was all part of the emotional abuse. You know, she's someone that wasn't healed. So when we got together, we both wasn't healed. You understand? We both wasn't healed. I was going through something else, which was nothing to do with any relationship issues. But she was going through something, and even when we got to that, when we even got together, it was so messy because she's telling me that she's not with that partner, boom, boom. And that partner of hers was always constantly coming to the house to see his daughter. And I'm thinking to myself, what's going, you know what I mean?
What are you thinking?
And she's making it seem like, no, he's a bully, this and that. Da, 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 da. You know, later on, you know, because we did have a good physical altercation, me and the guy, you know. And later on, I was just like to myself, after a few altercation, I was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. You know, like, come on, man. Like, if you want to go see your daughter, boom, boom, just take this to court or something, because we don't need to be fighting over nothing. He did tell me, well, she's manipulative and da 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 da. But because I knew her before him, I was like, I ain't never seen that side of her ever. So I'm like, what do you mean manipulative? I don't see that from her. But then I started seeing it afterwards. But that was probably like a couple of years afterwards.
Hence the thing when you say about the veil, because you knew her when you were 17, so you
Right.
knew her in one capacity,
Right.
and now you're getting to know her in a different capacity, like friendship to a relationship
Right.
capacity. So it felt different.
Yeah.
So when you say the mum never liked you before, is it she never liked you when you were friends then? Because then that's the missing part as well, isn't it? Like, why does this mum not like you so much?
You know what? I never knew why. But obviously my intuition was saying she's playing with things. So, you know, I had the discernment, I had the intuition, and I'm not gonna lie, it's my fault, because to be honest, even when I believe in God, so even when God was telling me certain things, showing me certain signs, I was like, "What, really? What? How? I don't understand." I didn't understand it at that time, so I was like, "Oh man, I'm just doing what I'm gonna do anyway, regardless. I'm gonna marry her, regardless." Da, 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 da. You know what I mean?
So did you see any type of thing? Like you said, you had discernment about the
Right.
whole situation.
Right.
So was you seeing things, but you was choosing to ignore those things?
I think I did.
Because this was before children. Remember, you guys have not created
Right.
life together, so
Right.
you're making decisions.
Right. Yeah. I was making decisions knowing that it might not end well, but we did have those
Good times.
discussions also. We had a lot of discussions, which in my mind I was thinking it was healthy at the time, because we was both open and honest with each other. I mean, to my understanding, I thought she was open and honest like I was, because I didn't really want no mishaps or any iffy situation going on. But to be honest, it was already iffy from way before we even got together. So that was my fault, and I know that. So I can't blame her for all of that all of that stuff.
I can answer a question. Then, like you said before you guys got into your relationship,
Mhm.
you both came from, it sounds like, your own trauma, because you mentioned about healing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So at what point did you then take a breath and think, oh man, this ain't too good? Because obviously you've gone into the marriage
Right.
already knowing that it's not even gonna potentially last. You're
Right.
doing it almost on a whim,
Right.
which I think is wild anyway.
No, it
because
was to be honest, it was
that's
all
that's
wild. It was wild. It was wild, but it was like a dopamine. It was just
It sounds like you're
wild.
trying to get like a
yeah,
fix.
like I get it. Like I
You're
don't agree with it, but
they're
I
running
get
on
it.
love, innit? Like some
Right.
people will say love rules the world, innit? I'm not here for that love talk, yeah, because
Yeah.
people do crazy things when they're in love.
Right.
I've got a quick thing, yeah, because you've spoken about briefly, like you've kind of given your wife, yeah, because she's your wife at this point.
Right.
You've given your whole wife
Right.
the option to allow you to step out
Mm-hmm.
or her to step out, like open relationships in a marriage. Like,
No, I didn't.
I'm trying to.
I didn't
Let's
allow
understand
her
what you're
Let's.
to.
saying.
Yeah. Go
So
on.
I didn't allow her to step out like
Mm.
that. Basically, something was going on with her, and she was okay enough to allow me to whatever. Me, I was just already wild.
Sorry,
I was
quick
wild.
question. Because you're not saying what's wrong with her. Is it something that, did you step out because you couldn't get sex? I just want to be direct with it. Is this what it was?
Yeah, to some degree, yeah. Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand, because
Yeah.
he said because there was something wrong with her. So I'm thinking, did she allow it because you couldn't give her
Yeah,
sex?
she
Or she
no,
didn't
she
give you?
allowed it because obviously she couldn't give me sex, but it wasn't just that anyway. I don't know what else it was. I can't even remember, but I know, yeah, that's one of the fundamentals about it. But yeah, yeah, she was okay with it. To be honest, I wasn't thinking. I wasn't really thinking. I was just being me, thinking I'm being me, because the way we've known each other, I didn't even think anything crazy would
You thought it
happen.
was calm.
I was like this. Look, someone was like text message me saying, "Oh, they want to smash." I'm like, "Oh, she wants to smash. Is that okay? Is it okay? Can I smash?" Yeah. Well, yeah. Just make sure you use a condom. Okay, fine, cool. I'm out. Bye. You know what I mean?
That's not actually called open relationship, though. You know what that is?
What is that?
It's non-ethical monogamy.
You know what?
That's what the term is. It's non-ethical because obviously ethically you'd be monogamous.
Right.
But her giving you permission means that you're in a non-ethical monogamous relationship.
Right.
That's what that would be.
I mean, I would agree with that.
Yeah, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, you know.
That's exactly what it is.
And you ran with it, basically.
And
I mean, it's a
how long-
normal thing.
And how long did you run with it?
Just so
for
you know,
as
this is a
well?
normal thing
How long?
happening.
Yeah.
Oh,
People give it.
It was
Yeah.
only for like a few months,
Mm.
and then that's when I ended it. You know, because to be honest, it's like it's like I was in two relationships now. Now I'm having to deal with someone else who's got two kids. You understand? Yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. Everyone's gonna say it's wild. Oh my goodness, man. I'm embarrassing myself in it. It's all good. I'm not embarrassing
You was
myself. I'm
enjoying
not
yourself.
ashamed.
It's historic.
I was enjoying myself, you know what I mean? I was working, I was studying, I was just being creative, I was
Two-packing.
organizing certain things, and I was like, yeah, but I know I made a huge mistake, because spiritually speaking, it's not a good thing. Trust me. Yeah, I had to face my karma as well. It's like I was taking on someone else's karma, and then I poured it onto me, and then now I'm facing the karma. So I know it was my own mistake, my own doing. If I was sharp, I was sharp, but I wasn't that sharp when it came to that, because there was a lot of temptations, and I was self-controlled until I could no longer self-control. You know what I mean? You know, and whatnot. Yeah. Right.
That was a good one. That was a good one. No, that was a good one. That was a good one.
But
I'm not condoning. It was a good one.
We're not condoning.
I'm
at
not
all, but
condoning.
It's just how you said
It's
it.
just the way he said it. Presentation.
Yeah, but
eloquence.
Listen, I don't even condone my own behavior at this point because obviously at that time anyway.
There's a lot of accountability from you.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying, if there was a woman sat here in Majestic, your Majesty, and she's Majestic, I don't know if we would get the same level of accountability, and we've spoken about that. Like he's being very accountable. Should I have done this? Right. I didn't do this. I was here, and actually, you know what? It doesn't make sense that I did X, Y, and Z. Looking at it in hindsight, so I hear
hindsight's a beautiful thing that they said because in the moment, like you said, I was doing me, and I thought I was doing me. Actually, it was a total different thing. Like you said, spiritually, you took on someone else's demons, but you weren't thinking about that. You were thinking, "Oh my God, she said she can have sex. I can have sex. You have sex. Let me go." You get what?
But that's the the innate kind of like male response.
Say that.
Do you get what I mean? Like literally. A male response would be like, she said I can smash. Let's go smash, fam.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and that was it. Yeah, like I said, I guess obviously for yourself, this is new to you. Obviously, people who are in proper non-ethical, that's not the dynamic. Right. And that's not how it works. No one's excited about having sex with someone outside of their relationship. That's not how it works. But obviously, you were just excited because you didn't actually understand what you were doing.
And we was fully in our honeymoon period anyway.
Yeah, like, because what you're saying now is a normal thing. Like, and people function in relationships when they have that understanding, and it's not about smashings and people. That's not where the excitement comes from. It's something more deeper than that. Yeah. But honestly, I don't really know what to say.
I just want to forward, Ash, to the kids now being in care.
Yeah, because that's all I wanted to know from the beginning. Because I asked you before, where are your people?
So my parents, they know I'm a married man. But they can't get involved like that.
Wait, hold on.
Why?
Why can't they take the kids?
You're still legally married?
Yeah, I'm still legally married.
So
basically, I'm getting a divorce anyway. Don't worry, I'll invite you guys to my divorce party.
But why can't they take the kids? That's my question. I just want to know why they can't take the kids.
They're trying to get the kids, but the thing is, the way the local authorities are conspiring with each other, they're making it very difficult for my parents to take the kids for me. So they're trying to make it seem like my parents are in the negative and whatnot. Like no one in my family's got a criminal record. I didn't even have a criminal record until I got framed and boom. You know what I mean? However, I'm just saying it openly because it's like the amount of spiritual work it took for me to get to where I am right now. I'm telling you, I was very depleted. Yeah, energetically depleted, and it took a lot. And the children, they were their foster care anyway. I did speak to them once on a virtual video call, and it was nice to see them, and it was definitely nice to see my daughter grow up because when I last saw her, she was only 1, like 1.5. It's very bad. But they're very intelligent, they're very smart and wise. And that's why, 5 years. So, yeah. And when I did get to see her, on a virtual video call, like, I knew right there and then, that's daddy's daughter, because the way she's got daddy's back, just by her whole aura, the whole aura of her. And I just knew anyway from a long time, so I'm glad I have my children. It's sad that I never got to see them during the period of my 2-year suspended sentence, even way before the 2-year suspended sentence even happened. And it's kind of annoying because I really did want to see them consistently and whatnot, because I want them to know, because first of all, their mother's Caribbean, I'm African, right?
Where are you from?
I'm from Angola.
Angola,
Congo.
Okay, yeah, I remember, Congolese.
Yeah.
Okay, you're giving that a little bit small.
Oh, yeah.
And where's the mum from?
The mum? Vincentian in Jamaica.
Don't talk too hard now. lower that bass in your voice.
Jamaican, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, lower that.
Why, you Vincentian?
No, I ain't. I'm
No.
Jamaican, so lower
Right.
that tone on the Jamaican side.
He said Vincentian and Jamaican, so she's mixed up.
She's a
Right.
proper mixer.
She's a mix. Okay.
Right. So
So you're you Angolan Portuguese or just Angolan?
Well, yeah, we speak Portuguese in Angola.
Yeah.
That's the main language.
Yeah, that's the main. Okay, yeah, I
Which
know a few
is-
people from there.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. But yeah, I'm the true Angolan.
Hear
Let's just
it.
say that. I don't say, oh, I'm Portuguese, because that's
You're
what
Angolan,
that's
yeah.
what a majority does. You know?
Yeah. They'll
And
be
it's
like,
kind
I'm
of
Portuguese.
confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I know that I will see my children.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely will see them and whatnot, because I mean, I have to see what the nature of that case is going to be. I know it's going to go into my favor anyway. Either way, I put it in God's hands regardless.
So just a quick question back on what Ash was saying.
Mhm.
You spoke about family. Are your family being supportive? Have they had any contact? Do you have any siblings? Are they trying to?
Yeah.
Who supports you in this scenario and how to navigate this? It's hard. Do you get
Yeah,
what I mean?
so
So how do you navigate through
My
all of this?
parents, they are supportive. My siblings are definitely supportive. However, remember, my parents, they're in the 60s, 70s.
Mm.
So it's like, obviously, there's only so much they can do
Mhm.
and say. You know what I mean? Maybe part of my lessons also was the fact that, I never really got told certain things properly and whatnot. But I did hear certain things from other people's mouths and whatnot.
When you say certain things, be specific. Do you mean like how to parent, how not to parent, how to choose a wife, not to choose a wife? Like what are you talking about?
Well, personally, to choose a wife, I don't feel like I did choose the wife that I wanted. But I felt like I just went in there because of the fact that we were friends and we had benefits to go with it too. Now, that's
Oh,
very
a
bad.
mad
No,
upgrade,
that's
though.
wild and it's very bad.
Majesty, that is wild.
Yes.
But I keep telling you,
But
men
I'm
pick
going-
who's in front of them at the time.
Right.
I don't know why people they pick whoever's in front of them at the
No,
time.
that's true. I don't disagree with that.
We just had a man
But
say they date
I
who
don't
they
disagree
like.
with that. I know, I don't disagree with that.
Madness.
No. Men, like, in terms of proximity,
Mhm.
availability, and what they have access to.
Right.
In terms of your age at the time, you was 24, 25?
25,
you said.
Okay,
26,
so you're not young. It's not like, you had those weddings that, like, I got married when I was 18 and like, you're actually 25, you're mid-20s, you're approaching your 30s, you're still young, but you're not that young still.
Right.
So, okay, that's very interesting. I find it very interesting.
It's nuts because me personally, I didn't have much of relationships even before that. So I was
Baby
Mr. Too
boy.
Goody Two Shoe to a certain extent.
Do you feel like he was a bit naive?
It would look like I was naive. I know I wasn't naive. I was just wild and excited.
I was gonna say drunk in love.
Yeah,
Literally that. You're
basically.
literally that. You're drunk
I
in
was
love.
drunk in love.
Glasses properly.
Yeah, basically
It's
that.
giving drunk. I was drunk in love.
Yeah, I was drunk in love, and
Because you
trust
got
me.
married, do you know what I
And-
mean? Like
and
you
let me-
didn't just get with someone, you actually got married.
Yeah, and love hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
So I can understand why people can be guarded and all this other stuff, and they would like their own. Because me personally, I like my own space. I like my own energy. I don't really like to mingle and mix too much unless I'm entertaining people, as a job or whatnot. But
Man say when I mix, I mingle.
right,
Yeah.
all right.
It's true.
Obviously, it was just it's a bad situation. So I'm sorry, children, that that he had to go through that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Our viewers are gonna come for our throats, bro. This is not the first time we've had a dad on here saying this, doing all
Right.
of this. Like our viewers are going to come for
Yeah,
our
they will, 'cause
neck. They're gonna come for our necks, yeah. And the thing is, I've been sitting here allowing you to talk, and the thing is, what they're gonna say to us is, we didn't do enough to hold you accountable because we're allowing you the space to talk, which is why I kept saying about. Because for me, I just need to know where the kids are. I don't know what your
No, but we know the
circumstances
kids are.
So we know the kids are in obviously care now,
Yeah.
and we know obviously your parents are a lot older,
Right.
so forth. we know what our
That's a
viewers
lot of
think they do.
processes, and I feel like
It's a lot.
for people who don't know how the
ins and outs.
system works and the ins and outs, and there's two sides to every story, and there's a lot of like things that you have to like kind of pull together, factual information,
To get custody and
statements,
stuff.
what's not facts, actually, what's hearsay, and so on. It's a lot. So people can sit there and say what they want to say, but then no.
Hey, they
Does-
can say
yeah.
whatever
They can say what they want to say. This
Listen.
is your version of what's happened.
And it's
Right.
fine.
And
to
And
have
that's
your
it.
and we're
version.
okay to hear that, and we're gonna sit down and we're gonna live and we're gonna give and allow fathers the space to say what
Yeah.
they need to say, because actually we don't just work in a maternal kind of
Just
No.
women,
world.
of course not.
Like, this is not a world that operates on women alone. There are men here too. They exist
And
too.
you have your own thoughts,
And you
feelings,
have your own thoughts and
emotions,
your
everything.
feelings, and we hear what you're saying. Like, actually, it's interesting to hear the other side. Like,
Because we
boom,
never usually hear it.
we don't.
Unless they're related, and even when they're related,
And that's
it's
when
tainted.
it's related,
It's tainted.
you even say, "Oh, but did you do this?" So
Yeah.
sometimes it's okay, and we appreciate. And I want to say it loud. I know the internet hates me. I mean, I care. I mean, I care. Yeah, but actually, we appreciate the fact that you've been able to be very transparent,
Very.
and you've shared, you know, the ins and outs. You've opened the direct questions that Leash has been digging for, Ash has been digging for, we've been digging for, and actually we appreciate you for that.
100%.
So although we may not understand,
Or-
because we're not,
or
agree,
Oh yeah,
You're
like,
allowed.
you're allowed the
allowed.
space.
Yeah,
100%,
Like,
100%.
give people the space to say what they want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Period.
Hey.
yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you don't have to say everything.
There
Okay?
you go.
Yeah.
That's
Some
it.
things
That
need
part.
to be kept to
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
And whatnot.
Yeah, that
The
part.
reason why I'm only saying it is because, you know what? At the time when I was going through the dilemma, I spoke to so many women just to get their take on all of this. You know, whether I was at work, whether I just met them on the way. You know, I
You
heard
wanted to get perspective.
Yeah, I just wanted to get perspective and whatnot, you know. And one woman told me when I was working in Waitrose,
What'd
you
she
know,
tell you?
just, you know, doing a security job. She was telling me, "Nah, you gotta move on. She don't want you." I'm like,
You know what? Yeah.
she told me, like, I was like, you know what? Yeah, she's right. She don't want me. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So I kept it moving. I think the biggest mistake I did is then I found someone. And then I was like, yeah, I'm moving on now.
Yeah. And you just jumped out of the fire into the frying pan, mad.
We need, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to actually
Right.
like someone who's like, I'm a serial person who
Right.
like I move on. Like I will move on. Like
Yeah.
I'll say it's you. Like I move on. Like
Yeah.
if I see something today, I'm gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, but you actually need to allow yourself the
To
space
heal.
and the time.
Right.
It's not even just to reflect, like what's actually happened, to process. Like this happened to me, that happened to me. I didn't like this. I liked a bit of this. Actually, I'm gonna take those things forward, and I'm gonna take that into my new relationship. Actually, I'm not gonna take that.
Yeah.
So let's give ourselves time to
process.
heal,
Yeah,
to
of course.
process.
Yeah.
Just actually sit with ourselves.
I feel like
Like-
adulthood is you buck your toe, and before you've healed the buck toe, you've broke your finger. And before you've healed the broke finger and the broke toe, you've banged your head. So in the space of how many years, you've got a broke toe, a broke finger, a broke
But none
rib,
of them have healed.
and none of them have healed. Because
Yeah.
before you had time to look back that, you did this and did this and exactly that,
Yeah.
because you don't be still and just reflect on,
Just-
let me heal the toe
Yeah.
and be still with the toe.
Right.
Anyway,
But
Majesty, you're offline right now because I couldn't find you when I was trying to find you.
I can tell you where you can find him, though. I
Oh.
can help him a little bit. You are on AG's live.
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And there's a comments. We're calling you UK version of
Tupac.
Tupac. Yeah? Because you were MCing. And like I said to you off camera, you're very good.
Thank
yeah?
you.
And you went, of course I am. Yeah?
Yeah. Thanks.
So that's one place we can find you. Are you going to
Yeah.
come back online?
Back on
Yeah,
this
I
one.
will. And the reason why I had to come offline, because God damn it.
And you got mix up happening.
No, I made another big mistake.
Oh, God.
God damn it.
Have
I
you got
made
another kid?
another big mistake.
I don't even-
But you know what? I leave that in
Yeah,
God's
please,
hands.
'cause
Amen.
I
Yeah,
leave
we
that
don't.
in God's hands.
I mean,
I leave that in God's
My
No,
brother
hands.
let's
cannot-
cheers to that,
And
please, Majesty.
Right,
my
right.
brother cannot manage that extra one.
Listen,
No, have you got
listen.
another kid coming?
Maybe.
Wow.
Oh, guys, yeah.
Maybe.
Let's just sip the juice, yeah, because you know
And
what, yeah.
this is why men will never be short of pom pom, because you women, you're the real fucking MVPs. You see this man's situation, you hear him, and
but
you yourself will go
Anyway,
and give
we
more.
cannot. Anyway,
But let me
anyway.
tell you this though. Women are very intelligent.
100.
Because we are. We're super
and
dumb
and,
as
and
well.
and the thing is, it's like this. It's not that men don't have discernment, wisdom, or whatnot. Because no matter what knowledge you got or whatnot, you can still make a mistake.
That's true.
You know, don't matter who you are. So, don't matter how much money you got. Don't matter
Period.
what your family dynamic is, whether they're dysfunctional or not. You know, you can still make that mistake. And I don't want people to make a mistake. I want people to really just use their intuition and have that discernment and get closer to God.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
and whatnot.
Amen.
Yeah. You know.
Nah, thank you, Majesty, for joining us. Thank you for waiting behind the scenes. We've been literally behind low today, but where can we find you? What can we do? AG online, Leisha's mentioned.
Yep.
I'll be back. I'm just working on myself right now, so I've just taken a break
Well
I
done.
hear it.
and whatnot
Well done.
because obviously
Okay.
social media can be very
Cruel.
Draining.
not just
Yeah,
cruel, but
draining.
drains your whole
Draining.
energy and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. And then sometimes you want people to like your post and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and then you start feeling away. It's like, nah. I need to
Yeah,
come
yeah.
off that because it's not. Don't get into your temporary feelings. You know, it's whoever wants to support you, they'll support you. If,
That part.
you know, some people don't even.
See,
They might see your stuff, but they might not even click on straight away.
It's not
you know?
subconsciously in
Right.
there
They don't
anyway.
because they don't like it.
Anyway,
People.
what we?
We are Mama Drama Podcast.
Monodrama podcast. Tune in, people.
Now
Like
you
you
say the
subscribe.
Shimmy.
And I'm Majesty King.
Yeah. Peace.